72-year-old coaches stepping aside. The news emerging that Saban has informed Alabama that he will be retiring. And clearly one of the very greatest, if not the greatest, college football coaches of all time cracked the code on how to go out and recruit and coach and win. And win and win. Seven national championships in all, one at LSU, 6 at Alabama. Incredible run. I think worn down by the NIL stuff.
I think so,
it's funny.
too.
Anytime he would complain about NIL, and I would say that he understands he can't compete in that world, there would be people who'd say, oh, no, he's playing next level chess here. He's saying if you don't change the rules, I'm going to use them against you. I don't buy it, because in a world where boosters can come together and pay players whatever they want to pay them, the schools with the richest boosters, who are the most motivated to funnel as much money as possible to a football team, are the schools that are going to emerge as the best. And Alabama isn't one of them, period. So he knows how much harder it is for him to compete in today's college game. So he's getting while the getting's good. And we assume he's going to TV. Now, somebody told me, and I haven't done this yet, obviously, because the show's still happening. Somebody said, go back and watch the last time Saban was on with Pat McAfee and listen to his words carefully. Because apparently, and I don't know whether or not this person's right, apparently there may be some clues there that he'd be inclined to give the NFL another go. As crazy as that sounds, after being gone 16 years, 72 years old, I can't imagine. But somebody's going to hire 71-year-old Bill Belichick, and somebody may hire 72-year-old Pete Carroll. Why should Nick Saban be excluded just because, he's 72 and it's been a long time since he's coached in the NFL? He could be exactly what a team needs.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be enough to exclude him to me. I mean, he's been in the college game for a long time. I wouldn't want him to come in and run an organization at this point, right? But I mean, geez, it's incredible what he did. I think you're probably right. The changing landscape of college football, the NIL was certainly, I would think a negative, a detractor to him. He complained about it all along. I mean, he was basically giving flat rates. He wasn't going to go down to, I'm going to give you a boatload of money and make you the king of this football team with a bunch of college kids. I think that's why he liked college anyways. College is it's a dictatorship. There's one king. It's the head coach. You listen to him. He tells you where to sleep, what time they serve food at the mess hall. He does everything. That's what he is. And that's where, the NIL certainly changed that to a degree. And, hey, it's been an unbelievable run. He's getting up there in years as well. And I was shocked that it's just happening kind of out of nowhere, that there was no feel or sense that this was a legitimate thing that could happen this year. But, man, to win 2 national championships at 2 different schools and the run he went on at Alabama where, Alabama, of course, was good at that time, but not, special to what they are. He brings them back to their glory days. And like the Patriots and, the guy that taught him, it was like an inevitable thing every year. It was just like, well, hey, we're getting towards the Final Four, the BCS, whatever the hell they called it, right? Alabama's getting the conversation. Alabama's the best team. Alabama's 3. Alabama's 4. It's unreal the run he went in college football and how dominant he was for as long as he was. And sad day to see him go, because I love watching Nick Saban football teams, and I love watching his interviews too. He's got a little of that West Virginia snarkiness that I've known from some guy that I work with from time to time.
15-17 in 2 years with the Dolphins, and was miserable at the NFL level. Miserable with the Miami Dolphins. Miserable that they traded a second-round pick for Dante Culpepper, coming off of the torn knee ligament trifecta, versus signing Drew Brees as an unrestricted free agent with no compensation to anyone. Because I think the way Saban said it the most recent time I saw it, he blamed it on a doctor who didn't know his ass from a bag of sand. That was Saban's quote. They wouldn't pass Drew Brees on his physical. He had the studs in his shoulder.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that were concerned then. Yeah.
Yeah, but still.
I know.
Saban ran the show. If Saban wanted him, he would have had him.
Yeah. Well,
if Saban wanted Drew Brees would have been the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. Drew Brees wanted to be the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins.
No, I get that. I just, again, you're about to be a head coach and you're going to go, wait, I'm going to frame my organization around like the doctors.
Year two.
Well, doctors and people are going to tell me that maybe this guy might never be the same. He didn't have a very good arm to begin with. That's why the Chargers were getting rid of him. Now we're going to get a guy that's got studs in his thing, and people are concerned, and there hadn't been a whole lot of people that had overcome that injury at that point. So there is a little context to it there. But, yeah, that was big. It really was. You're right. And that certainly would have changed things for him and maybe his outlook in the NFL. But I think all in all, like you said it, I think you brought it up last week, and he was made for college football. The NFL's different. Personalities are different. Dealing with grown men are different. Dealing with a bunch of guys on your team that make as much money as you or more is different. And that's just different than managing, a bunch of 18 and 19-year-old kids who are looking for someone to bring them, to the glory days and bring them to the NFL. And that's where Nick Saban found the magic touch in college football.
And look, I mean, age shouldn't be an issue, but if a team is looking for a long-term answer, how long-term of an answer are you getting from Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, or Nick Saban? And with the Cowboys, it makes sense. We just want a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We just want
us a Super Bowl.
Right. So I was trying to be delicate with that.
I saw.
Because, there's people out there who don't know the background. I used that term in a story over the weekend.
And
somebody emailed me and said, did you really mean to use that? It's like, well, you must be new here.
Yeah, right.
Because this has kind of been a thing since 2012.
Right.
So with Saban, you throw in the age and you add the twist of 2 years with Miami and he couldn't wait to get out. It makes it a tougher sell.
Yes.
If you start to get infatuated with what he could do, if he just had a quarterback, what could he do by coaching up a defense and all the other details of getting things buttoned up? What could he do? I think when people drill down to his 2 years in Miami, and, they didn't call him the Nick-tator in Miami because it sounded cool. He was ruling with an iron fist.
Yes, he was.
I remember back in those days, the local media was beaten down by this guy, and they were telling me all this stuff he was doing and stuff that was happening in the building and these weird rules that he had. And, at Alabama, the iron fist includes, a muzzle for everyone. Nobody said anything about Saban at Alabama. NFL, it's different. You don't control everyone in the NFL the way you can control everyone with a college program. So I think it's not realistic, but who the hell knows? Based on this week, who the hell knows what's going to happen with Nick Saban now that he's available. But this isn't a great year for him to be available because all these other big-name coaches are out there. It would have been better for him. We haven't mentioned Jim Harbaugh today. It would have been better for Saban if he's the only big-name coach with a great resume and historic accomplishments. There's 3 or 4 of them this year.
No, I agree. That's why this feels like a true retirement, and he's had enough, and he's, college football, in some ways, it's not the same in-season grind the NFL coaches have. It's not. That's where it's different. The NFL in-season grind is much more intense than, hey, college, there's the 20-hour rules. We know there's only so much coaching they can do, and then they have to go back to their office and call and text recruits and write letters and do all that stuff. The NFL, the offseason is where it's a little bit more manageable. That doesn't happen in college football. That's where they have to continue to keep going, and their spring practice, and of course they have to be on the recruiting trail, and it's a year-round babysitting job to a degree. So I can understand a guy like him being exhausted from all of that after this run and the NIL, like we talked about. It feels like a retirement too, just because, hey, listen, they had a quarterback there he's pretty talented. He's got arrow pointing up and some potential. So to leave that too, right? That tells me that he's just had enough, because certainly Alabama's talent level doesn't look like it's falling off earth here anytime soon. I think this is one where he's just exhausted, and he's gonna enjoy some of his toys and his big lake house that he has. Where is that, in Georgia, that he always brings the players or whatever, and he's gonna enjoy life a little bit.
My wife's a big Nick Saban fan because he's from West Virginia. He's from just up the road. And she's kind of like, I wonder if he'll move back here. It's like, why would he? He can live anywhere he wants. Nothing against West Virginia, but he's got this house in Georgia. He can buy a house anywhere he wants. I don't know what family he has back here, but I'm not. And again, I live here. I choose to live here. But, if Nick Saban does end up 20 miles up the road, I'll take him some pepperoni rolls and we can hang out and talk football.
Oh, that would be great. I would love that. Damn.
Probably not fine by him. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.